Hello, friends. So we're getting ready to move tomorrow and thinking about getting all packed up and organized and moving into a new place. Got me thinking about essentially a manifestation hack that I've been using for a while. And sometimes I forget that I'm using it because it's just kind of part of my operating system now, but I wanted to share it because I think it's really helpful. Not only is it a way to speed up manifestation, in my opinion, but it's just a much nicer way to go about your day to day. So it's essentially how to really, truly appreciate what you have right now in this moment, while also manifesting what it is that you want. So the reason I think this is important is that I think there's kind of a common misconception where if we're being grateful for what we have right now, like if I truly appreciate where I'm at and what I have, then I somehow won't be motivated to actually go out and work on my goals and dreams. Like as if we will get complacent or kind of bored or unmotivated if we're actually happy with what we have. I think a lot of people use their dissatisfaction with something in their life as fuel and like as a catalyst to go work on your goals and dreams, which, hey, if that works for you, more power to you. I know for me, I'd rather not walk around holding the emotion of or the experience, the vibe of feeling dissatisfied, because to me, that's not a helpful feeling. And it's one that I don't think is like a sustainable source of energy or fuel. I think it's just, it's an unhelpful kind of energy. And so instead of feeling unsatisfied and using that to propel me forward, I think there's a really powerful way where we can both be grateful for what we have, super appreciating every little detail about where we're at right now, and be very actively working on creating what we do want. So I would like to dispel the myth that it's either or. Like either you're happy where you are and not working on your future, or you're very intensely working on manifesting your goals and your dreams, but you're chronically dissatisfied or unhappy with where you are. Like I don't believe that that's necessary. I believe you can have both. And so when you start to look at it through, instead of an either or paradigm, but you see it through a both and paradigm, then it starts to get really exciting and it starts to get really magical, I think. So I'll give you a bunch of examples. And again, the reason I was thinking about this is because we're moving tomorrow. We're starting the process of moving tomorrow. And moving can be a great way to be looking into, like literally up-leveling your house or your home or your apartment or your lifestyle or different aspects of your day-to-day life. So I think a living situation is a great way to practice this, but this can also apply to jobs. It can apply to, specific material things. It can apply to really anything that you're wanting to upgrade or improve in your life, right? So the way it works is, I'll use travel as an example, because I was thinking about this last year. So last year we were in Portugal in like April or September of 2019. Remember travel? That was a nice thing. I look forward to doing that again one day. So we were in Portugal and we were taking the train, and I think we were taking a train. Yeah, it was a train it was a train. We're taking the train and it was super crowded and it was really hot. And I made the mistake of wearing jeans, and I had my big ass backpacking backpack on my back, and I had my little day pack on my front. And and I had like a, what's it called? Like a leather tote bag that I carried my computer in. So basically I was overloaded. I was so hot and sweaty, and it would have been really easy. And we were rushing to get from one place to the next, and like walking up big crazy hills, or taking the train and all this stuff. And it would have been really easy to complain or to wish that, we were like taking an air conditioned Uber or something like that. But in that moment, what I was practicing doing was appreciating everything about what we had decided to use as our mode of transportation in that moment, and also allowing myself to desire what the next level would be, right? So in that situation, this could also apply, like, let's say you typically fly coach, and one day you would like to fly business class or first class, and you want to kind of stair step your way up to that. So instead of sitting in coach or sitting, on a crowded train and thinking, oh my God, I'm so hot, I'm so uncomfortable, I wish I could afford to be in the next cabin up or to fly first class or whatever it is, instead of complaining and going into an energy of judgment and noticing the lack that you have. Instead, you flip that and you just appreciate the absolute shit out of what you have. So I'm on the train, I'm super sweaty, I'm in Portugal, and I was like, okay, like I'm very physically uncomfortable right now, but I love that we can do this. I love that we can be rugged backpackers. Like, we're surrounded by 20-year-olds who are backpacking, who totally don't care. And I'm like, I'm now 40, but in my 30s at the time. And I was thinking, you know what? I love that I can still hang and be rugged and be out here backpacking with a bunch of young people. And I was appreciating, seeing so many things, like from being so up close with people, and I was appreciating the grittiness of it. And at the same time, I was noticing my desire to, in the future, travel in a way that's maybe more comfortable or with more AC or maybe faster or whatever it is, right? So if you're sitting on a plane and you're sitting in coach, and let's say you have a difficult passenger next to you and you're uncomfortable, your knees hurt, you don't like the food, blah, 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 blah. Instead of focusing on what you don't want, and instead of being upset that you're not comfortable, you find something to appreciate. You really, really turn up the dial on your gratitude. So then you're sending out these vibes of gratitude and appreciation and being happy with where you are. And you're making a decision that in the future, I would like to travel in business class, or maybe even economy plus, or whatever the stepping options are. And so you're embracing the present and acknowledging what's next, and you're starting to visualize what's next, and you're acting like you can even play a little bit of make believe in the moment. So you act as if you're in the different situation while you're in the current situation, and you're appreciating both, right? So I will play that game. I definitely play that game on the plane too. Like I'll be sitting in coach where we've, chosen to be. And then as we're taking off, I'll be repeating mantras and affirmations in my head, like I fly first class, and I'll be imagining sitting in first class. I've sat in first class, I think twice in my life before. So I know what it's like, but I can envision and make believe what it would be like to be doing that regularly. And I'm appreciating all the beauty of sitting in coach while I'm imagining first class, let's say. Another example would be, so I'll take my own example of we're moving right now, and we're moving into a little house that we're going to rent. We've never rented a house before. We've only rented apartments. And so I'm really excited to actually have a house. We're not buying, we're just renting it, but we get to kind of practice, right? So I'm going to appreciate everything about the house, and, we'll share updates about that as we move in, and all the wonderful things and all the little details that are great for us right now. And at the same time, I can be practicing, visualizing, appreciating, and already feeling into what would be the next step. What would it be if it was a house, right? So let's say you could do this with a job situation. So you're in a job, you don't like it, your boss sucks, you're annoyed all the time, you're shitty coworkers, whatever it is, you're not doing something you love. But instead of sitting around and being dissatisfied all day and just wishing you were doing something different, or instead of just accepting and settling for what you have and deciding, it's never going to work out, I'm never going to get anything else, you practice appreciating what you have while manifesting the thing that you want. So you sit there, you go through your day, even though it's not ideal, you find things to appreciate, you find something, anything to be grateful for. Maybe you appreciate the fact that you have an opportunity to practice some skills that you might use in your next job or whatever it is. So you find ways to like crank up the dial, turn on some more helpful, some more higher vibration emotions, and you start getting more and more clear on, well, what is it that I actually want? Like while you're in the job you don't like, you can use the contrast to get more clear on what you do like, and then start to imagine and make believe and visualize and feel the feelings of having that better job, or the job that's more aligned with what you want in the future. And of course, outside of work, go take action to start to create that reality. Where can you go and look for jobs like the one that you want, or apply, or talk to people, or network, or do whatever it is, right? Same thing if you are an entrepreneur like me and you have a business that's at this level, but you want to go at this level. Instead of sitting around and just accepting what you have, or just constantly yearning for what you don't have, you appreciate the absolute shit out of what you have right now. My business is at this level. I'm super proud. Here's what I love about it. I'm appreciating it. I'm grateful for it. And I want it to be here, and I can imagine it, and I can feel it, and I can taste it, and I can see it, and I'll go into the full vivid details of visualization, which is always more powerful if you charge it with emotions. So it's really, truly appreciating what you have, and really, truly focusing on calling in and working towards taking action, doing all the things to start to create the next reality that you want. And when you do that, then A, you're just raising your vibration overall, and B, you're enjoying your day-to-day life so much more because you're not walking around wishing it was different. Like in the, I'm not an expert on Buddhist philosophies, but I believe they talk about letting go of resistance to what is. And I know that for me and for a lot of my clients, when we just notice the resistance that we have to what is and like start to release it over and over, practice, like be aware and release it, and essentially stop wishing things were different, then we find so much inner peace. And then from that place of inner peace, we go create the future that we want. So it's like, instead of being annoyed at your current reality, but at the same time just settling for it and being in resistance of it or to it, and judging yourself and doing all that, you just accept it, which doesn't mean you settle for it. You just accept it energetically, emotionally, that it is what it is right now, and you can find things to appreciate, and at the same time work to create the reality that you do want to create. So that is my riff on appreciating what you have right now while manifesting what you want. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up, send me a message, or write a comment below. I would love to hear what you thought. And if you found this helpful, feel free to share it with anyone you want. And let me know if you want to hear more about such things. Have a good day.